simple mechanic, broken android, and an alien girl. The Galactic Empress sees everything. The frontier station of Zithra Outpost had long been forgotten by the rest of the galaxy. Dust swirled through the air, and the hum of machinery was the only sound for miles. Ships rarely came, and those that did carried little more than supplies and rumors of things far away. On the edge of this station, tucked between a half-collapsed storage dome and a maze of rusting spacecraft, worked Jaren Talais, a human mechanic. Jaren was known to few and understood by even fewer. His hands were always covered in grease, his hair messy from leaning over broken engines, and his clothes carried the permanent smell of metal and oil. But Jaren did not mind. He liked the quiet. In the clutter of discarded parts and malfunctioning robots, he felt at home. One morning, while Jaren sorted through a pile of scrap droids, his eyes caught something unusual. Under a tarp, half buried in a heap of damaged machinery, lay an android unlike any he had seen before. Its metal plating was scratched and dented, wires hung loose like veins, and its eyes were dark. Most people would have passed by, thinking it useless. But Jaren felt a spark of curiosity. He knelt down and carefully lifted the android from the pile. "Where did you come from?" he murmured, wiping the dust off its shoulder. Its body was light, yet its frame seemed delicate and strong at the same time. There were markings on its chest, symbols that Jaren had never seen, almost like a secret code. Something about the android felt different, alive. Jaren carried the android into his small workshop. The workshop itself was a collection of chaos. Tools scattered across tables, wires coiled around hanging hooks, and broken engines stacked against the walls. The smell of oil and metal filled the room, and the soft hum of his old repair droids working in the corner made it feel alive. As he examined the android, a strange noise came from the doorway. Jaren turned and saw a young figure standing there. It was a girl with green-tinted skin and large, expressive eyes that shimmered like sunlight through water. She held a small satchel close to her chest and looked both scared and curious. "Are you alone?" she asked, her voice soft but urgent. Jaren frowned. "Depends on what you mean. Alone here? Yes, alone in the galaxy, that I can't say." He wiped his hands on a rag and gestured toward the android. "And who are you?" I'm Lyra," she said, stepping closer. "I'm running from people who want something I carry." "I thought maybe I could hide here." Jaren studied her for a moment. Something about her seemed honest, and something about her made him trust her instantly. Maybe it was the way she clutched her bag or the way she hesitated before speaking. "All right," he said finally. "You can stay, but don't touch anything unless I say so." Lyra nodded quickly and moved to a corner of the workshop. Her eyes couldn't help but wander to the android. She tilted her head. "That is not like other machines," she whispered. Jaren glanced at her, curious. "What do you mean?" It's alive in a way I haven't seen. Not completely, but something is different." Jaren looked back at the android. Its chest panel was loose, wires sparking faintly, and a single eye flickered dimly. He felt a strange excitement. The kind of excitement that came when someone finds a puzzle no one else can solve. For the next few hours, Jaren worked. He tightened bolts, replaced broken circuits, and cleaned the android's sensors. Slowly, the machine began to respond. Its eyes glowed faint blue, and it tilted its head as if noticing the world for the first time. "Can you hear me?" Jaren asked softly. A small mechanical sound answered, like a whisper through old circuits. The android's eye flickered brighter. "Good." "You're going to be okay," Jaren said, a smile forming despite the grease on his face. He didn't realize it yet, but this simple act of repair was something more than fixing a machine. It was awakening something extraordinary. While Jaren worked, Lyra quietly observed. She could feel the strange connection between the human and the android. It was as if the machine recognized Jaren in a way no one else could. She felt a twinge of hope. Maybe she had found allies in the most unlikely place. Outside, the station remained silent. But far above, somewhere in the stars, the Galactic Empress watched. She had eyes everywhere, sensors, satellites, and spies that stretched across her empire. From her throne on the capital station, she noticed the sudden flare of energy from Zithra outpost. Small, faint, almost insignificant, but to her it was enough to spark interest. Back in the workshop, Jaren had finished his repairs. The android now stood upright, wobbling slightly, testing its balance. Its voice module clicked and whirred. Then finally it spoke. "Function restored," the android asked, its tone mechanical but curious. Jaren's eyebrows shot up. "You can talk," the android tilted its head, scanning the workshop. "Observation suggests survival probability increased through human intervention." Jaren laughed. "That's impressive. You're learning fast." Lyra's eyes widened. It's understanding us. It's not just repeating commands, it's thinking." The android looked at her. "Identification, unknown species. Behavior, cautious. Threat level, undetermined." Jaren clapped his hands together. "Well, you've got to learn a lot more than that if you want to survive out here." For the next few hours, the three of them worked together. Jaren showed the android simple tasks, picking up tools, organizing parts, and understanding basic instructions. The android learned quickly, adapting in ways Jaren had not expected. Lyra shared small hints about the data she carried, explaining fragments of knowledge that the Empire had tried to erase. As night fell over Zithra outpost, the workshop glowed with a soft light. The three companions, human, android, and alien girl, sat quietly, each aware that the galaxy beyond the station was dangerous. Yet here, in this small corner of rust and machinery, they felt safe. High above, the Empress continued to watch. She saw the unusual pattern of energy, the android coming to life, the presence of the alien girl. Something stirred within her, a rare feeling she had not experienced in centuries: curiosity. Why did humans always find ways to turn broken things into something extraordinary? Meanwhile, Jaren cleaned his hands and looked at his two unlikely companions. "We've got a lot to do," he said, "and the galaxy, well, it doesn't wait for anyone." The android blinked its glowing eyes. "Affirmative. Proceed with learning and adaptation." Lyra smiled faintly. "Then maybe together we can survive whatever comes next." Outside, the wind picked up. Dust swirled around the abandoned station. Far away, stars shone coldly in the vastness of space. Yet inside the small workshop, hope burned brightly, fueled by human ingenuity, alien courage, and a machine that was no longer broken. And somewhere in the silent darkness, the Galactic Empress saw everything. The morning sun barely touched the horizon of Zithra outpost when Jaren awoke. The workshop was quiet, except for the soft hum of the android systems. Lyra was already awake, sitting cross-legged on a crate, her eyes scanning the star maps she had pulled from her bag the night before. Jaren stretched and rubbed his hands. "Morning," he said. "Sleep well," Lyra smiled faintly. "As well as I can." "This place feels safer than anywhere I've been." Jaren nodded. He understood that feeling. Safety was a rare luxury on the edge of the Empire. Most people, when they thought of this station, imagined silence, danger, or emptiness. But to Jaren, it was alive with possibilities. Broken machines, forgotten engines, and discarded droids could all be made whole again, if someone cared enough to try. The android, now standing in the center of the workshop, tilted its head and watched the two humans. Its eyes flickered as it processed information. Observation: human manual repair methods are highly adaptive. Efficiency exceeds expected parameters. Jaren chuckled. "Thanks, I guess humans have a way of fixing things even when they shouldn't work." Lyra leaned forward. "It's amazing. You made it alive again. I've never seen a machine respond like this." The android's voice module clicked softly. "Alive is a subjective term. Function restored. Awareness present. Probability of survival increased." Jaren nodded thoughtfully. "That's close enough for now." He walked over to a workbench and picked up a small, broken drone. "I have a theory," he said. "If I can fix this, maybe I can help you understand the world too." Lyra's eyes widened. "Understand the world?" "Everything," Jaren said. "Machines, people, problems, life. You can't just survive, you have to adapt." The android tilted its head. "Adaptation confirmed as a survival mechanism. Instruction required." Jaren shook his head. "Not yet, you'll learn by doing." As the day passed, Jaren guided the android through simple tasks. He taught it to organize tools, repair minor circuits, and even calibrate small engines. Each time, the android improved, learning from its mistakes faster than Jaren had expected. Lyra helped too, showing it fragments of alien technology. Some pieces were unfamiliar even to Jaren, with circuits that bent and glowed, reacting to touch in strange ways. The android absorbed this knowledge quickly, combining it with what Jaren had taught. By midday, the workshop was filled with quiet energy. Jaren worked on a broken energy converter, the android assisted with precision, and Lyra explained alien concepts as best she could. "It's incredible," Lyra said, brushing her fingers over a smooth piece of metal. "Even when it's broken, you can make it work again." Jaren glanced at her. "That's what humans do. We fix what's broken, not always perfectly, but enough to keep moving forward." Outside, small figures moved across the station, but none noticed the activity inside the workshop. Most travelers avoided Zithara Outpost. It had a reputation for being quiet, dangerous, and forgotten. That reputation kept it safe for now. High above, in her crystal chamber, the Galactic Empress continued to observe. Her eyes scanned the energy signatures from Zithara, analyzing the unusual activity. A faint blue pulse, small but constant, emanated from the workshop. The android's awakening, combined with the presence of an alien girl, was a curiosity she could not ignore. "Why do humans always fix the broken?" she whispered to herself. Her advisors had long warned her not to be distracted by frontier activity, but something about this small spark drew her in. The Empress did not often feel curiosity, yet now she did. Back at the workshop, the android began experimenting. It lifted a broken drone and carefully replaced a missing circuit. Then, instead of following Jaren's previous instructions, it adjusted a component in a way Jaren had never shown. The drone buzzed to life, hovering gently in the air. "Impressive," Jaren said, stepping back. "You didn't just copy what I did, you improved it." The android's eye glowed brighter. "Improvement observed. Efficiency increased. Human methods integrated." Lyra gasped softly. "It's learning beyond what it was made for," Jaren smiled. "That's the point. Humans don't just follow rules, we figure things out when no one else can." The trio spent hours testing, repairing, and learning. Lyra shared small fragments of the data she carried, encrypted knowledge that the Empire had erased from many star systems. The android, with its newfound adaptability, began decoding parts of the information, connecting dots faster than Jaren had imagined possible. As evening approached, the sky outside Zithara Outpost turned a deep violet. The station's lights flickered on, casting long shadows over the rusting spacecraft and machinery. The workshop glowed warmly in contrast, filled with the hum of life and activity. Jaren wiped his hands and looked at the android. "You've learned a lot today, but tomorrow we go further." The android tilted its head. "Further exploration required, data assimilation desired." Lyra smiled. "You're learning fast, but the galaxy out there is much bigger than this workshop. We'll need more than repairs and tools if we want to survive." Jaren nodded. "I know, but for now we fix what we can, and we learn. That's the first step." A sudden hum outside made them all turn. From the shadows of the station's docking bay, a small patrol drone approached, scanning the area. It was automated, unarmed, but its sensors were sharp. Zithara had patrols for safety, though they rarely did anything beyond observation. Jaren crouched behind a workbench. "Stay quiet," he whispered. The android froze, sensors flickering as it calculated. Lyra grabbed her bag, preparing to hide. The patrol drone hovered near the workshop. Its scanner swept over the building, pausing briefly over the glowing lights inside. Jaren held his breath, hoping the drone would move on. After a tense moment, it continued its circuit and disappeared into the night. "That was close," Lyra whispered. "They almost saw us." Jaren relaxed slightly. "They're just scouts. The real problem is bigger." "Out there," he said, pointing vaguely to the stars, "the Empire doesn't like surprises, and what we're doing could be a very big surprise." The android looked at him. "Probability of threat acknowledged. Human adaptation techniques necessary." "Exactly," Jaren said. "And you're already learning them." As the night deepened, the workshop fell silent again. Jaren sat on a crate, watching the android, then Lyra. "You know," he said softly, "humans fix things not just because we can, but because we refuse to leave anything broken. That includes machines and sometimes people too." Lyra nodded, feeling a strange warmth. "That's why I feel safe here. You don't just repair things, you make them alive again." The android's eye flickered. "Alive recognition accepted. Function enhanced. Connection established." Far above, the Galactic Empress observed quietly. Her advisors were puzzled. "It's only a mechanic, a damaged machine, and a girl," one whispered. "Yes," the Empress replied, her gaze unwavering. "But in the smallest sparks, the greatest fires often begin." Inside the workshop, Jaren, Lyra, and the android sat together, unaware of the vast attention their actions had drawn. They were small, isolated, and fragile, but together they had begun something remarkable, repairing what was broken, learning to adapt, preparing in their own quiet way for a galaxy that was much bigger and much more dangerous than Zithra Outpost. And somewhere, unseen but ever-present, the Empress saw everything. The sun had barely risen over Zithra Outpost, but Jaren was already awake. The small workshop buzzed with quiet energy. The android, now fully upright and alert, moved among the tools, learning on its own. Lyra sat nearby, watching, her fingers tracing the edges of a strange device she had pulled from her satchel. "Good morning," Jaren said, stretching. "Today we push a little further." The android's glowing eye flickered. "Further exploration required. Probability of learning increase high." Lyra smiled faintly. "You're improving faster than I expected." Jaren picked up a small, broken energy module. "This is going to be tricky, but if you can help me fix it, it will teach you more than just following instructions. It will teach you thinking differently." The android tilted its head. "Thinking differently, acknowledged." Jaren handed the module to the android. Its mechanical fingers carefully examined the device. Then, without instructions, it adjusted several circuits, trying new patterns. The module hummed softly as power flowed through it, more smoothly than before. "Not bad," Jaren said with a grin. "You didn't just repair it, you improved it. That's what humans do. We see a problem, and if the normal way doesn't work, we try something new." Lyra's eyes shone with awe. "It's learning, not just repeating, but actually thinking." The android turned to her. "Learning confirmed. Analysis, problem-solving efficiency increasing." For hours, the three of them worked together. Jaren showed the android basic mechanical repairs, while Lyra explained fragments of alien technology that the Empire had tried to erase from history. The android absorbed every detail, combining human methods with alien knowledge, forming a new kind of intelligence. While they worked, the hum of activity beyond the station reminded them of the danger outside. Zithra Outpost was on the edge of Empire space, a place few traveled. The patrol drones were predictable and the outpost's defenses were minimal. Yet, the knowledge Lyra carried and the android's unique abilities were enough to attract attention, even from the highest levels. High above, the Galactic Empress observed the energy signatures from the station. The subtle blue glow of the android's activity, combined with Lyra's presence, was unusual. For decades, she had monitored the galaxy and seen countless anomalies, but something about this small trio made her pause. "Why do they not fail?" she asked quietly, more to herself than anyone else. Her advisors shifted uncomfortably. "It should not be possible for humans to improve what is broken so quickly." An aide hesitated. "It is unusual, Your Majesty, but they are small, insignificant." "Insignificant," she said, her gaze sharpening. "Small sparks often light the greatest fires." Back in the workshop, the android had begun decoding parts of Lyra's data. Its circuits pulsed as it interpreted alien symbols, understanding patterns faster than any human could. Jaren watched with fascination. "You're not just repairing, you're connecting dots no one else sees." The android looked up at him. "Connection observed, data integration proceeding, efficiency improved." Lyra's voice was low. This could change everything. "If the Empire discovers that this knowledge survived, they won't stop at just Zithra." Jaren's hands paused in midair. "Then we need to be careful, but hiding isn't going to help us. We need to learn, prepare, and adapt. That's how humans survive." The day passed quickly. They repaired old drones, tested alien devices, and taught the android to make small, independent decisions. The android began to make choices on its own, deciding which tools were needed, which circuits to adjust, and even predicting the outcome of certain repairs before Jaren could explain. "It's thinking for itself," Lyra whispered, her eyes wide. "It's more than a machine now." Jaren nodded. "And that's exactly why we need to be careful. Knowledge like this, intelligence like this, it can be dangerous if it falls into the wrong hands." As evening approached, a subtle vibration ran through the station. The patrol drones had returned, scanning systematically. This time, they lingered near the workshop. Jaren crouched behind a workbench, motioning for Lyra and the android to remain still. The patrol drone hovered near the entrance, its sensors sweeping across the glowing lights inside. It paused, almost as if sensing something unusual, then continued its patrol. Jaren exhaled slowly. "Close one, too close." The android observed silently. "Threat probability minimal. Observation, sensors noted. Defensive protocols not yet necessary." "No defenses," Jaren muttered. "But that's okay, we're learning faster than they can predict." Lyra looked uneasy. "We can't stay hidden forever. The Empire won't ignore unusual activity for long." Jaren placed a hand on her shoulder. "Then we don't hide, we adapt. That's the human way." Night fell and the workshop was bathed in warm light. The android sat quietly, its glowing eye dimmed slightly as if resting its circuits. Lyra studied star maps spread across the table, planning their next moves. Jaren stared at the stars, thinking. He had repaired countless machines, but never anything like this. The android was more than metal and circuits. It was alive in a way that only humans could understand. And Lyra, she carried secrets that could change the galaxy. The quiet of the night was broken by a soft hum from the android. "Data assimilation complete. Patterns suggest potential for unforeseen outcomes." Jaren smiled faintly. "That's why we fix things little by little, not just to survive but to make the impossible possible." Suddenly, a sharp flash appeared outside the workshop, a scout ship descending rapidly toward the station. Its design was sleek, unfamiliar, and clearly not part of the usual patrols. Lyra froze, her hands clutching her bag. "The Empire," she whispered. Jaren didn't hesitate. "Get ready, we've been preparing for this even if we didn't know it." The scout ship landed, kicking up dust and debris. A mechanical voice boomed from its speaker. "This outpost is under observation. Remain in place. Do not interfere with Imperial operations." The android stepped forward, glowing eye brightening. "Threat assessment, moderate. Probability of compliance, optional. Protective measures, recommended." Jaren grabbed a nearby toolkit. "Lyra, stay behind me. And remember, we do this our way. Smart, fast, and careful." Inside the workshop, circuits buzzed, tools clanged, and the trio prepared to face the unexpected. The scout ship's sensors scanned relentlessly, but Jaren already had a plan. He had repaired machines before, but now he had two allies, one living, one learning, that no one could predict. Outside, far above, the Galactic Empress watched the scout ship approach. Her eyes narrowed. So, the humans are growing bolder. Perhaps it is time to intervene directly. Back in the workshop, the android moved to block the door, its body glowing faintly. Lyra braced herself, heart pounding. Jaren grinned. "It's okay. We've been ready for this moment." The scout drone speaker crackled again. "Compliance is mandatory." Jaren shook his head. "We don't comply, we adapt. That's what humans do." The android activated a small, improvised shield, one Jaren had taught it to create from old circuits. The scout drone's sensors blinked in confusion. Lyra's heart raced. This was their first real test, and already the human way of fixing and adapting was at work. The trio worked together seamlessly. The android rerouted energy, disabling parts of the drone without destroying it. Lyra manipulated alien circuits to scramble its scanners. Jaren moved quickly, repairing and adjusting devices on the fly. For the first time, they were not just surviving, they were outsmarting the Empire in their own small corner of the galaxy. As the night deepened, the scout ship retreated, unable to predict the trio's ingenuity. Dust settled over the station, leaving the workshop glowing warmly in the darkness. Jaren leaned back, exhausted but triumphant. "See, humans fix what's broken, and sometimes we fix more than just machines." The android tilted its head. "Observation: humans are unpredictable. Adaptation successful. Probability of survival increased." Lyra smiled, her fear giving way to hope. "Maybe we really can survive this." Far above, the Galactic Empress observed silently. She had seen the impossible unfold before her eyes. Small sparks in a forgotten outpost had already begun to challenge her expectations. "Interesting," she murmured. "Very interesting." Inside the workshop, the human, the alien girl, and the android prepared for whatever came next. The galaxy beyond Zithra Outpost was vast, unpredictable, and dangerous. But together, they had already begun to prove one undeniable truth. Humans could fix the broken, and even survive the impossible. The morning sun rose slowly over Zithra Outpost, casting long shadows across the rusted ships and broken machinery. Inside the workshop, Jaren was already at work, the android moving beside him and Lyra examining her alien device with careful focus. "You're both ready for today?" Jaren asked, wiping grease from his hands. Lyra looked up, her green-tinted eyes serious. "We don't have a choice. The Empire won't stop watching, and if they find us unprepared, we're done." The android's single glowing eye flickered. "Threat probability elevated, defensive protocols recommended, adaptation required." Jaren nodded. "Exactly, and that's why we don't hide, we adapt." The past few days had taught them much. The android had grown beyond simple repairs. It could anticipate problems, improve devices without instructions, and even offer suggestions based on logic and observation. Lyra's data had been partially decoded, revealing fragments of long-lost knowledge, blueprints, maps, and techniques the Empire had tried to erase. Together, they represented something extraordinary: human creativity, alien intelligence, and adaptive technology working as one. Jaren began the day by inspecting a broken starship engine tucked in the corner of the workshop. "We're going to try something new today. I think this engine can work again, but it's going to take all three of us." The android rolled closer. "Collaboration acknowledged. Efficiency maximized through combined effort." Lyra placed her device next to the engine, connecting its circuits carefully. "If we can get this running, it will prove that we can fix more than just machines. We can fix systems, maybe even ideas." Hours passed as they worked together. Jaren guided the android's hands, teaching it the delicate balance of pressure, wiring, and energy flow. Lyra monitored alien circuits, making subtle adjustments that even Jaren could not understand. Slowly the engine hummed, then roared to life with a smooth vibration. "See," Jaren said, wiping his forehead, "nothing is truly broken. You just have to understand it, and sometimes you have to think in ways no one expects." The android's eye glowed brightly. Observation, human methods effective. Integration of alien technology increases functionality. Outcome, optimal, Lyra smiled. "We did it together." Their success, however, did not go unnoticed. Far above Zithra outpost, the Galactic Empress observed silently. Her advisors had warned her to ignore small outposts, but the unusual activity continued to draw her attention. The combination of human ingenuity, alien knowledge, and adaptive machines was a pattern she had seen only once before, centuries ago, during the rise of early human colonies. "Prepare the scout fleet," she said quietly, her voice steady but intense. "If humans continue to act like this, it could disrupt everything we've built." Back at the workshop, a soft vibration ran through the station. The patrol drones had returned, and this time their scanning was more deliberate. Jaren and Lyra crouched behind a workbench while the android stepped forward, its glowing eye scanning the intruders. "They're trying again," Lyra whispered. "We have to act fast." Jaren shook his head. "We're not running, we adapt." Using makeshift tools and devices, the trio disabled the patrol drones without causing damage. The android predicted their movement, rerouting circuits and creating small diversions, while Lyra manipulated alien components to scramble their sensors. Jaren worked with steady hands, repairing minor damages as he created barriers and diversions. When the drones finally retreated, the workshop was quiet again. Dust hung in the air and the hum of machinery filled the room. Jaren smiled at his companions. "See, humans don't just follow rules. We find a way to survive and sometimes thrive." The day continued with lessons, repairs, and experimentation. Lyra shared more fragments of her data, showing maps of lost colonies and energy systems that could revolutionize technology. The android interpreted and integrated this knowledge, creating connections that neither human nor alien could have predicted alone. As evening fell, the trio gathered near the entrance of the workshop, watching the stars. "The galaxy is bigger than we thought," Lyra said softly. "And more dangerous," Jaren nodded. "Yes, but that's exactly why we fix what's broken. Not just machines, but opportunities, knowledge, even hope." The android tilted its head, observing their expressions. Observation, humans' resilience and ingenuity exceed calculated probability. Outcome, enhanced survival potential. Suddenly, a signal arrived from space, an encrypted transmission, faint but urgent. Lyra decoded it quickly. "It's from another outpost. They've noticed our activity. They're scared but curious. They want to learn from us." Jaren grinned. "Then it's time to teach. Humans fix what is broken, and sometimes that includes teaching others to do the same." They worked through the night, connecting old systems, improving communication networks, and preparing for the eventual arrival of the Empire's forces. The android became the centerpiece of their operations, using adaptive strategies to ensure their safety and efficiency. Days passed, and Zithra Outpost began to change. It was no longer a forgotten station. It had become a hub of quiet resistance. The Empire's patrols grew cautious, unsure of the small, adaptive human force that seemed to anticipate every move. The Galactic Empress watched from her crystal chamber, intrigued and cautious. She realized that this trio, simple mechanic, broken android, and alien girl, represented more than a threat. They represented a principle the Empire could not control: human creativity and adaptability. "I must see this myself," she said. "For centuries, humans have surprised me. Perhaps now it is time to witness their strength firsthand." Back in the workshop, Jaren, Lyra, and the android prepared for their next challenge. They didn't know what awaited them beyond the station, but they were ready. not because they were the strongest or the fastest or the most advanced, but because they could adapt, learn, and solve problems no one else could. Lyra adjusted her device, studying the alien energy patterns. If we can use this knowledge correctly, we can protect ourselves and maybe even change the balance of power in this region of space. Jaren nodded, his eyes on the horizon. Then we fix it. We adapt. We survive. That's all we ever do. The android's glowing eye pulsed softly. Acknowledged, human methods integrated, data assimilation complete, prepared for unforeseen challenges. As night deepened, the trio sat together, quietly sharing the warmth of the workshop. Outside, the Empire's forces moved silently through space, unaware of the small, defiant corner that had begun to grow stronger with each passing day. For the first time, the Galactic Empress considered a truth she had long ignored. Small sparks could start fires, and human ingenuity was a force even she could not control. Inside the workshop, hope burned brightly. The mechanic, the alien girl, and the android, unlikely companions, had learned something essential. Together, they could fix what was broken, adapt to the impossible, and quietly defy even the mightiest empire. And somewhere far above, the Empress watched, silently wondering if humanity's quiet defiance might change everything.